Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. I am Commissioner and Chair of the Board, Rick Vest. To my left, Commissioner and Vice Chair, Krista Yoakum, and to her left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. To my right is Commissioner Sean Flowerday and Commissioner Chelsea Johnson. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please begin the meeting.
Copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall of the rear of the hearing room. All written materials to be discussed at today's meeting can be viewed at the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Printing options are available upon request. Brings us to item 1, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on September 16th, 2025.
I move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Abstain.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2, claims. 2A, approval of the claims processed through September 19th, 2025. And I'll note there is an amendment for payroll.
I move approval of the claims, including payroll disbursements through September 17th.
Second.
Motion second to approve the claims, including payroll disbursements. Please call the roll. Oh, we have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. 2B, approval of a claim to the Mediation Center in the amount of $6,550.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion second to approve item 2B. Please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest.
Abstain.
Motion carries. 2C, approval of a claim to El Centro de las Americas in the amount of $12,559.91.
Move approval?
Second.
Motion second to approve 2C. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Abstain.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. 2D, approval of the claims for goods and services beyond the 90-day time period provided in Nebraska Revised Statute 23-135 for Acres equipment dated September 22nd, 2025 for a total of $2,447.95, and CLIA laboratory program dated September 22nd, 2025 for a total of $248.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion and second to approve item 2D. Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of A, amendments to the following county contracts: C-21-0648 with Grant Street Group for the Lancaster County Online Payment and Point of Sale Processing Service, C-23-0869 with Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company Incorporated for the supply of John Deere filters. B, right-of-way contracts with the following: B&W Land and Family Farms LLC, Agnew Road and 176th Street in the amount of $595. Grant G. Fielder Trust, Ashland Road and North 27th Street in the amount of $487. Donna L. Barger Living Trust, Agnew Road and 162nd Street in the amount of $1,135. Donna L. Barger Living Trust, 162nd Street and Rock Creek Road in the amount of $811. David W. and Francis K. Hanson Family Revocable Trust, Ashland Road and North 27th Street in the amount of $271. 5910 LLC, Southwest 58th Street and Saltillo Road in the amount of $487. Gary D. Blomstrom Revocable Trust, Rock Creek Road, North 134th Street, in the total amount of $1,099. Gregory E. and Laura B. Taverdi, Ashland Road, North 27th Street, in the total amount of $460. National Arbor Day Foundation, Agnew Road, North 176th Street, in the total amount of $379. A subaward contract with the YWCA of Lincoln for the Diverting School to Prison Pipeline LPS training program in the amount not to exceed $17,145. And finally, D, receive and place on file the county treasurer final report of the 2022 distress warrants as of September 15th, 2025.
I move approval of the consent items.
Second?
Motion second to approve the consent items. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 4, new business. 4A, resolution in the matter of setting the 2025-26 property tax request for Lancaster County and the rural library for Lancaster County at a different amount than the prior year.
All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. This resolution here is what I'm going to say is really kind of our last resolution that we're doing. Once this resolution gets finalized, then I can finalize the budget and file it with the clerk and the state auditor's office. So this resolution this year is a little bit different than previous years. Previous years, we would have been required to hold a special hearing and then adopt this resolution. This year, we went to what I refer to the pink postcard meeting. That was that special hearing process. So from there, now this resolution gets adopted. It's really, no matter which direction you go, this resolution comes out of it because it goes back to the county clerk's office to really get ready to set the final levies. Within the next probably couple, 3 weeks, you'll be finalizing levies. This is what this is doing. So I'm just going to mention what this resolution kind of contains. It really is setting aside last year's tax request and adopting what the 25-26 taxes will be. It also addresses what happened with valuations for the year. Lancaster County's valuation jumped by 9.85%. The rural library is also included in this resolution. Rural library valuation increased by 16.20. Lancaster County's tax rate that will be set will be 21.4482 cents. The rural libraries will be at 1.3055. The last thing in the resolution that we have to note is what's the total operating budget of Lancaster County increasing by, and that's at 1.09%. So those are what's put in there. This will move on so that levies can be finalized by the clerk and get it back to you, but this is kind of the final step before that.
Yeah, a lot of ground covered here, as we mentioned before, starting back in April when we began this process.
Absolutely.
Just want to draw attention to one fact, and that's that the rural library, which we helped fund, their levy rate did drop, and that's just because of the rise in valuation.
Right. So I think their increase in tax dollars was right around 4%. Like I mentioned, the valuation was at 16, so that's what drives that levy down. Now you look at the county, it's same thing. You know, our tax dollars are going up, but it's not going up at the rate that the valuation did. So in all reality, that that rate is actually dropping also. So I think with a lot of the increase in valuations this year, you know, we've talked about the rural fire districts. We've talked about a lot of them. A lot of the other county-wide ones that didn't, a lot of them stayed the same. RTSD dropped. You're going to see a lot of different levies across the board actually drop because of the valuations. And and while I talk about that, Rick, you know, when at the pink postcard hearing that we had, you know, I tell people all the time, 80% of the people that got up here was talking about valuations. You know, it's for a property tax increase, but everybody's talking valuations.
Yeah, that excellent point, and you did a great job of, I think, providing information that's helpful to understanding county government. Oddly enough, you put up the sheriff's department, county corrections, the jail, the county engineers department. Funny thing is, nobody was upset about money going into those three funds.
Right, we didn't hear anything about that.
Nobody said that they're too well funded, we need to cut those. So our big items are all things people support. So, yeah, we should probably debrief the board maybe on Thursday with what your experience was, but you did a great job. So thank you for that.
Ask a question?
Yeah.
You threw out a bunch of percentages, but earlier you said 1.09%. Can you just explain to me what that is?
So the 1.09% is really what the overall budget is increasing by. So that's talking
It's or income?
or expense, sorry. So it's taken into effect ARPA dollars decreasing, other things increasing, but the overall effect is 1.09% on the expenditure side.
But our property tax asking is going up
5.96. And so with that in mind, what's really happening is we're kind of still chasing what happened in fiscal year 25 because, our fund balance ended up coming in less, by three point some $million. So we're still kind of chasing that because our expenses really were over and above our revenues. So we've tried to tighten up dollars into this year, but we're still trying to get us back to where we needed because of what happened last fiscal year.
Great question. Thank you. All right. Seeing no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion second to approve item 4A. Please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Motion carries. For B, a special designated license application for the No Shave Nebraska for a banquet event November 21st, 2025 at Champion Seed Warehouse.
Good morning, everyone. Devin Ostrander. I'm the president of No Shave Nebraska Lincoln chapter. Again, this year we're going to have our banquet at the Champion Seed Warehouse like we've had the past couple of years. A little bit about last year and the years before. Our event is a silent live auction. We have a dinner and we bring comedians in. One of the big things we always say that laughter is the best medicine. So bring a couple comedians in. It's a great event. Last year, Monster Media did a video for us. We had a couple of the recipients each talk a little bit in a video, and Monster Media knocked it out of the park. We played it at both our event and our Northeast chapter up in Pender. Pender had a great turnout this last year as well. And then we usually have a recipient also speak at the event, and that's where the really touchy-feely stuff comes in. This last year, we raised just over $137,000 that night. That's from table sales, auction, liquor sales, everything. Again, like this year, it's going to be the same thing. We've actually had a lot of bigger sponsors come to us. We've had a caterer come and cater the entire event for free, which was nice. That kind of helps us out a lot with expenses. Out of the $137,000 that we raised last year, between 90 and 91% of the funds go out to victims and patients and their families that are affected by cancer in Nebraska. That's one of the biggest things we like. Keep our expenses low. And we've done a very good job down here in Lincoln of being able to get things donated to us and people willing to help out, and it's been a great event. So I don't know if last time our website was up yet or not. I can't remember if that question or that was brought up, but we do have our website. It's noshavenebraska.com. And then also, there we have Facebook, Twitter, all those other lanes for donations and stuff like that too. So.
Appreciate you doing it, Devin. It's a
Thank you.
gift to all those folks who are in a real time of crisis.
One of the funnest things I get to do is after we held the event and our board gets together and all the nominations that come in is writing the checks and the letters to these families. That's where it hits you. So my mom had breast cancer back when I want to say 6th grade is when she had it. Went through chemo, radiation, and then she was cancer free for 17 years. Then unfortunately it came back and had to have a double mastectomy and everything like that. So, it's kind of one of those things. Me, I do it more for the kids. I didn't realize how much of an impact it actually had on me back then because I was so young, but going through and how strong my mom was and everything. So that's kind of why I do it. Everybody has a reason why they're, that are on our board and they're doing it. So, that's one of my big reasons because honestly, the lady that spoke 2 years ago, I think she had 4 kids and 4 kids under the age of like 12. And she ended up unfortunately passing away like a month later after our event. And that's one of the biggest things that hits you, and then, God, at the event, they had one of the kids on the Monster Media video. The last one was a kid that came up and talked about his mom, and that, man, that hits. That hits hard. So, yeah.
Commissioners,
Oh, great event. I move approval.
Second.
motion and second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes, we're lucky to have you in our community. Thank you.
Johnson,
Yes, thank you.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to 4C, an agreement with the National Safety Council Nebraska for use of its defensive driving computer-based learning course materials for the county's Stop Traffic Diversion Program. The cost of the county shall not exceed $75,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Ward with the Lancaster County Attorney's Office. I'll let Jeff make most of the comments. I just wanted to note for the board that page 2, we made a slight amendment to that. It contained an incorrect spelled out price term with $75,700. The correct price, as stated by the clerk, was $75,000, so that's been fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Jeff Kilpatrick, Community Corrections. This is an agreement that we've had for years in place with the National Safety Council to provide computer access for those individuals that are going through our STOP program. And I think I've reported over 95% of our participants do the online class as opposed to the in-person class.
This is very valuable. I move approval.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Brings us to item 4D, a recommendation from the purchasing agent on behalf of the Lincoln Lancaster County Emergency Management to award and execute a purchase order to Electronic Contracting Company in the amount of $89,727.99 to upgrade the existing Creston HD-based T AV transport system to the Creston NVX AV transport system.
Good morning, Jim David Saber, Lancaster County Emergency Management. The origin of our Crestron system dates to about 2006, when our Emergency Operations Center was moved from the basement of the Hall of Justice to the basement of the old police department. We've kept it updated and upgraded over the years. The last significant update was in early 2019, when we moved from the basement of the old police department to our current location at 1200 Radcliffe. The HD base that we have in place is reaching end of life. So it was something that we were notified earlier this year and made the appropriate plans in the budget process. It's essentially the transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11. The system that we have still works. It's just reaching end of life and it's no longer being supported. The other thing, if you're familiar with the term VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, this is AV, Audio Visual over Internet Protocol. So transitioning to this gives us the reliability that we have to have. It also adds a layer of redundancy and some flexibility to the system. So it's the same system, it's just getting the necessary updates and upgrades that we need. And again, this will be a long-term solution. So again, I recognize that it's a significant amount, but it's a huge step in the right direction.
It is a significant amount, but I appreciate that you anticipated it, and we went through this in the budget process. When we come across these things, it's like, we have to do them. And when they catch us by surprise, it really hurts. But this one was anticipated. I move approval.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. 4E, recommendation from the purchasing agent on behalf of the county engineer to award a purchase order to Monroe Truck Equipment Incorporated for 4 Monroe rear cross conveyors and chain drive spreaders in the amount of $37,216.
Good morning, Board. Oak Williams, on behalf of Lancaster County Engineering Department. These are additional pieces of equipment that'll be used for politely shouldering on sides of roads or repairing asphalt roads. This will allow for a more efficient and more safe application of material on roadside repair.
I move approval.
Second.
So, this will take asphalt and just put it along the shoulder?
No, this uses materials. This is usually a granule material, rock or gravel, politely we'll use to fill in, they're washing out of just the earth next to the roadside. And this will, currently we use it with multiple pieces of equipment, loaders, hand shovels. This ultimately puts it just down a chute, and we'll put it just from the back of a truck, allowing an operator to come by with a motor grader behind and smooth it out. And there's less closure of the road, less people on the road. Like I say, more of efficient and safe practice for applying this material.
Yeah, seems like a big step forward, so.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. 4F, a recommendation from the purchasing agent on behalf of the county engineer to award a purchase order to Nebraska Machinery Company Incorporated for 1 Trail King flip axle trailer TKFA1 in the amount of $21,378.
This is an additional flip axle trailer for a lowboy trailer we currently have. There are pieces of equipment now that are bigger than this room, and we own some of those, but we need to transport those. And this, we currently use an outside vendor to transport this equipment when we're ready to, but we are at the mercy of that vendor when we want to move equipment. This will allow us to move the equipment at our leisure and just expedite repairs and I guess save the cost of hiring someone else to do it. But we need another axle for our trailer.
I'd move approval.
I appreciate the visuals. Second.
Thank you.
Motion and second to, I agree with that. You read the descriptions.
Exactly.
Pictures are way better. Motion and second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Board.
Brings us to 4G, recommendation from the Southeast Nebraska Development District, SEND, to award contracts through Lancaster County Owner-Occupied Rehabilitation Housing Program for the following projects. Go ahead and read all 5. Crew line exteriors in the amount of $8,500. MIT contracting in the amount of $14,947.90. MIT contracting in the amount of $24,999. Crew line exteriors in the amount of $8,100, and MIT contracting in the amount of $16,899.
All right, Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer again. It looks like I'm subbing in for Ryan today. Ryan did make a note that this would have been his last meeting that he would have been attending. He is moving on. So I guess I'm the new Ryan right now. So with this program that we've got out there, we're kind of towards our deadline where we need to kind of finish things up because the state's really kind of trying to put the squeeze on us to send the funding back to them. These three projects here will just get us that much closer. I think after these three projects are done, I think we're actually below $50,000 sitting in there. So, so to me, this is just kind of part of getting us there. So these three projects will happen, and then we'll get the payments in front of you again. But this is just kind of setting these up to get started.
I move approval.
Second?
Motion second to approve. It's good to see the money going out. It's
Yeah.
another step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. 4H, adoption of the 2026 Lancaster County legislative priorities.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 5, public comment. Members of the public wishing to speak in items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Any members of the public wishing to speak, please come forward. We'd ask that you sign in and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you so much. My name is Jessica Saxton. I am a civil rights advocate and litigator from Washington, D.C. I'm here to provide public notice to you today. This is in accordance with USCS Rules of Civil Procedure, as well as Rule 17 and Rule 20 of the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution for the United States is the overarching requirement that every state must follow. I don't think that anyone here would disagree with that. States are not able to enact their own alternative legislation and substitute that for the guarantees of the Constitution. That would mean that your state laws would be more powerful than the Constitution, and that is simply unlawful. Clause 1 of Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution says that no person should be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment by a grand jury. Unfortunately, your state has enacted a law in its inferior constitution that is permitting your public officials, your law enforcement officers, your sheriff's department, to charge by way of information as opposed to indictment, and that is unconstitutional. An emolument violation is when you pay public officials to commit a crime. There are two areas of the Constitution that actually reinforces this. The first is Article 1, Section 10, and that's where it states that no state shall create any law that shall impair the obligation of a contract. So your police officers, your sheriff's department, your judges, your prosecutors, they're all under a contract, and that's a contract to perform based on the oath or affirmation that they took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. The second area that reinforces the emolument violation and paying public officials is the 14th Amendment, and that's where it states that no state shall create or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of United States citizens. Privileges and immunities of United States citizens are at a minimum those that are enumerated within the Bill of Rights and the first 10 amendments, so these are not able to be impaired. There's one other issue here in Nebraska that we're running into countywide, and that is the unlawful removal of children by judges, magistrates in juvenile court, CPS workers. And unfortunately, they oftentimes use your law enforcement to go and unlawfully remove these children from fit, healthy, loving parents. The state is also incentivized to do such removal. I'm sure that most of you are aware of this at this point of Title 4D, Title 4E, Title 4B. That's where the state is incentivized to remove children from parents, healthy parents, and put them into foster care or put them into some type of state custody. And then the state, for the remainder of that child's life until they're either placed back with the parents or they age out, the state unfortunately profits off of that, so they are incentivized literally to kidnap children. Deprivation of rights under the color of law is another issue that we're dealing with. Mr. Downing is going to speak about this in more detail, but if you read at the end of deprivation of rights, that's 18 U.S.C. 242, it talks about kidnapping. And in particular, it says that if there is any person that conspires to kidnap or kidnapping occurs due to the deprivation of rights, which would be the deprivation of rights against these parents and these children and these prisoners that are being held to answer for a capital or infamous crime without presentment or indictment by a grand jury, and then kidnapping occurs, the people that are conspiring against us and involved in that kidnapping, they are complicit. And the penalty for that, one of the penalties is death. And this isn't my law, this is your laws. So I think that we need to bring attention to this. And the issue here is that you guys are paying for these crimes to be committed. So you're paying for the sheriff's department to come out and remove the children, or you're paying for the sheriff's department to hold someone to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime without the presentment or indictment of a grand jury. So Mr. Tanawa Downing is preparing to litigate this at the United States Supreme Court on behalf of more than 700,000 people incarcerated and thousands of people and children. I mean, the numbers, we can't even, as far as the numbers regarding the children, it's very difficult because the government itself has not released how many children are in state custody from 2014 until present. Their last known date is 2013 to 2023, where over 6.5 million children were removed from the custody of their parents. That's 22% of children. That's the astronomical, that's not a legitimate, that's not a logical number if you look at our population regarding the children. So Mr. Tanawa Downing is preparing to litigate this at United States Supreme Court. And I want to encourage you to confirm the things that I'm saying to be true today regarding the Fifth Amendment. Look at Roberts versus United States J.C.'s, 1984. They confirmed that the parental rights, there's no greater intimate association than that of a parent with their children. And then direct your public officials to act in a lawful constitutional manner. That is consistent with the obligations codified in their oath of office and with the Constitution. I do have a notice I'd like to put on the record, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica.
Good morning. My name is Tanawa Downing, and I'm the civil rights advocate and litigator from Washington, D.C. that Ms. Saxon was just talking about. I want to step up here, provide a little bit of clarification to you guys so that you can understand what was just said, what we're actually asking from you, because that's extremely important. Please don't neglect the information I'm about to give to you because it's extremely important, okay? I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. That's not what this is about. We're here to provide information to you guys as the legislative body, letting you know that agents of this state and county are acting unconstitutionally and that the budget that you guys prepare is actually paying for that work to be done. That doesn't mitigate your culpability within the criminal action, the criminal conspiracy. It actually enjoins you because you guys are preparing that budget. It doesn't matter if it's willful, negligent, knowingly or not knowingly. If you pay people to abridge their constitutional obligations, that is a crime. So I have approximately 14,000 criminal affidavits on behalf of victims that have been charged by way of information as opposed to indictment from right here within the state of Nebraska. Many of them are obviously from within Lancaster County. And so these affidavits, again, no state can create its own alternative legislation, substitute that for the guarantees of the Constitution, and go out and enforce that as though that's constitutional. But the state of Nebraska has done just that. The state of Nebraska has decided that they are able to determine whether or not a person is going to be charged by way of indictment or information by discretion of the prosecuting attorney or the law enforcement officer. You can never use discretion with regard to one's constitutional obligations. Obligations must be performed. Otherwise, you're abusing your discretion to break the law, right? This is a very simple concept. So if your sheriff's department are going out and executing a warrant that's based upon a judge who relied upon a prosecutor who abused their power by relying upon an inferior state statute that permitted them or directed them to charge by way of information as opposed to indictment, violating the Constitution of the United States, that sheriff is committing a crime. When that sheriff arrests that person, takes them into county jail, who you guys pay the budget for, prepare the budget for, and they house them there, that housing is unconstitutional because it derives from that unconstitutional act. So these affidavits, they identify two different crimes in particular. The first is Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 242, which is deprivation of rights under color of law. What that statute says is that any person who, under the color of any state statute, ordinance, custom, or regulation, deprives any person of any rights secured by the Constitution commits that crime. Now, the second crime is Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 241, which is conspiracy to deprive of rights. What that states is that when two or more persons conspire with the purpose of depriving any person of any rights secured by the Constitution commits that crime. Now, the law is a criminal conspiracy with regard to public officials, all of you. What that states is that any person who, having knowledge of any of the wrongs conspired to be done, and who have the power to prevent or aid in the prevention of the commission of the same, neglects or refuses to do so, may be joined dispense the action. So upon having been provided with this notice, letting you know that these unconstitutional acts are happening, I'd ask you, please, let's work together to fix this problem, right? Let's work together to fix this problem. Because the alternative is that we will have to start converting these criminal affidavits into criminal complaints. I don't want to have to head down that path. You guys don't want me to head down that path. Please don't make me have to do that, right? We can work together to fix this problem, right? We can, but it's going to require you guys stepping forward in truth and then working to correct the unlawful acts of those agents that you guys prepare the budget and pay the work for. That's the power that you have as the legislative body here. That's what we're actually asking from all of you. All right, so I know that you're going to go to your attorney, and you're going to ask your attorney, since we're done, whether or not what I'm saying is true. And that attorney is going to point you to a case from 1884 called Hurtado versus California. And before you choose to rely upon that as the foundation, I must remind you that the Constitution of the United States of America is the foundation, not a judge-made ruling. The judicial branch has no constituted authority to be able to alter, amend, or destroy any of the provisions that guarantees the Constitution, because that must be done by an authentic act of people in accordance with the special amending procedure of Article 5. Furthermore, judges cannot legislate. We know that because Clause 1, Article 1 says all legislative powers vested in the Congress of the United States. So do not rely upon the belief or the misunderstanding that the judicial branch is able to amend the Constitution of the United States. So I pray that you guys are going to make the right decision here, right? I know it's a very difficult decision, because as soon as we're done here, you're going to have to decide whether you're going to rely upon a judge-made ruling as the foundation and follow it, or the Constitution of the United States of America, the object to which your fidelity is bound. But I pray that you'll make the right decision. But just to leave you with this, all right, because I want to entice you guys in the right direction. United States Circuit Court has identified a two-part test to determine abuse of discretion. The second part of that test says that any erroneous view of the law is an automatic abuse of discretion. An erroneous view of the law would be that in your legal contemplation, the lowest form of law, judge-made ruling, is superior to the Constitution of the United States of America. That would be an obvious erroneous view of the law. Therefore, if you continue to pay these public officials, then an automatic abuse of discretion will have occurred. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and have a great rest of your day, okay? Thank you.
Is that your phone, sir?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you. Thank you. She brought it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything. Please think about what we said. God bless.
Sure. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public wishing to comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll close public comment.
Item 6, announcements. The Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Board of Commissioners will hold a strategic planning session on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 10 a.m. in room 113 of the County City Building. The Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. Board of Commissioners meetings are streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNQ TV apps are available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Item 7 is adjournment.
Move adjourn.
Second?
Motion second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest.
Yes,
Motion carries.
we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.